Hello all, and welcome to another Tip Tuesday. My name is Kellen. This is my first Tip Tuesday, and I'm very excited about it. I will be showing you a couple tricks today that are going to be inside of PrintBuilder, and they can be used in various reports, but I'm going to show you two specific instances where they could be used inside of a certificate and then also inside of a work order. So I have a calibration event here that I ran earlier. I'm going to right click and use event when designing in PrintBuilder. And then I'm going to come over here and go to my settings in PrintBuilder. And then once that opens, I'm just going to go to my standard certificate. And the first little cool trick that I wanted to show you was how to make the rows inside of the tables that you have in your report banded so that they're easier to read. So of course in this case there's only 3, so it wouldn't be that hard to read, but in an instance where you have a lot of rows or a lot of records, there's going to be a definite benefit to having the banded rows as opposed to not. And it's actually pretty simple. Basically you would come to whichever section of your report you have the table in. So in this case, the table that we're going to be editing is inside of the calibration test points subreport. And we're going to come over here to the detail section of this subreport. And the detail section, of course, is going to print one band per record that it returns. So in this case, one band per test point record for that calibration event. And you would come up here, and these two appearance subcategories, background 1 and background 2, are actually where you control how the banding will look, like what color it will be, and whether it's there at all. So because my banding is already set up, I'll go ahead and show you that here the first brush, so background 1's brush color is white and its style is just clear, so it's just a transparent row. And then the second row is going to be a brush color of this like very light gray, and its style is going to be solid instead of clear. So you could really truly make this any color you wanted. Just to show you here, I'm going to make it something crazy. And then the second row will show up in this color, and then it will alternate from there. So first clear, then aqua, clear, aqua, and so on. So here we go. And that would be how you would do that. Then something else that I wanted to show you was some custom ordering, but I want to switch this back real fast. So the custom ordering is kind of cool. So let's say that, and this may not be super applicable as a use case, but in this instance the one thing I was thinking of was if you were to do this for a certificate, maybe you wanted to sort your calibration test points by a specific field instead of by the sequence number. Then you could do that. So like, let's say in this case I wanted to sort by the verdict. So the calibration event that we are using here has one test point that was adjusted. Come on, here we go. So I'll just pull this up here to show you real fast. So this bottom test point, the third line item or third item in the sequence, is an adjusted item. So if we go back into PrintBuilder and we open, well, mine was already open, but if we were to go back into PrintBuilder, you would just go to Settings, PrintBuilder, and then you'll highlight whichever report you're working on. So in this case we're doing the standard certificate, and you'll right click on that report and then click on custom ordering. And there's actually a lot of things you can do with this, so this is pretty cool. So you'll want to come down to, whatever sort of subsection you think your field would be in, In this case, we're talking about the test points verdicts, so it's going to be in the test points. So then it'll say order by, and what you type in here is the actual field name inside of like the IndySoft database table structure. So in this case, the verdict is just all caps verdict. So I'm actually going to do it verdict descending so that it will look different. Otherwise, if it was just verdict, it would just put it in the same sequence that it's already in, since the adjusted line item was already at the bottom anyways. So we're going to do it in descending order so that it will move that line item to the top, just to show you that it is actually ordering by the verdict. So we're going to go ahead and open the standard report then, or certificate, and if you hit preview, then you can see here that it has moved this third sequence line item to the top, since its verdict was adjusted instead of passed. So that can be pretty cool, maybe not super applicable in the certificates case, but there's another instance that I'll show you with work orders where it actually is pretty helpful. So we have this just generic work order here, and I have 5 line items on this work order, and let's say that I wanted to group by the related event type or the status, and then I'll also show you how to group by more than one thing if you wanted to. So we'll go ahead and close this, and then back inside of PrintBuilder's little dialog here, we're going to highlight the report we want, just the standard work order, right click on it and hit custom ordering, and then same deal here as the certificates. It'll be in little subsections, so you'll choose which one your field will be in, and then you'll type in that field's name as it would show up in the database itself in its respective table. So in this case, we're going to do scheduled work, and we want to order by related event type. And then you hit OK or enter. And when I open it and hit preview, you'll see here that it has in fact ordered by event type. So accredited calibration was down here, and it was moved up to the top with the other that it was paired with, and it is actually sorted alphabetically too. So then if we were to close this and come back to the dialog, right click on our report again, custom ordering, I'm going to do scheduled work again. And in this time, instead of related event type, let's say I wanted to sort by or order by the status. So I want all of the incomplete line items to be separated from the complete line items so that it's very easy to see what's completed and what's not. Then this would be applicable. So it has now grouped all of the statuses that are complete in the top, and it has grouped the incomplete ones in the bottom. So if you wanted it to be the other way around, it would just be grouping by or ordering by status descending, because then it would be alphabetically descending, since incomplete is after complete in the alphabet. And then you can actually do more than one. So again, right clicking, custom ordering, scheduled work. Let's say we wanted to group by the status and then by the related event type. Here we have it grouping first by related event type and then by status. So the only one that you can really see this here with is the calibration event type, and it has ordered them alphabetically based on status. So calibration complete is up top, calibration incomplete is down below it, and then it has also grouped them by type. And just to show you the descending option, so like let's say we wanted all of the incomplete ones, incomplete line items on the work order to show up at the top. then this is what we would do, and there it is. It has put the only incomplete line item on this work order at the top of the list. And so just to show you one more time, what I did there was right click, custom ordering, scheduled work, and I just did status and then DESC, descending. And if you want to get rid of any custom ordering, you would just delete it, highlight it, delete it, and then hit cancel. And then it will go back to its normal behavior. Okay, one other cool little tip that I figured I would show you, and I'll just do this in the certificate itself, is there's actually a couple keyboard shortcuts for PrintBuilder that are pretty helpful. Let me go to, let's do this. So let's say I added a shape right here, and if I'm trying to get this shape lined up with signature A down there, and I'm having, for some reason, if I'm having a lot of trouble getting it to line up with just the mouse, another way that you can do it is by hitting the keys Control and then Shift, and then using your arrow keys to move the shape. Or you can also do just Control and it will move it in smaller increments with your arrow keys. And then if you were to do only Shift and move your arrow keys, it will shrink or grow the item that you have selected. So in this case, it's making my box grow. Or it can make it shrink too. And then Control Shift will move it in large increments. Control will move it in small increments. And that's just using the Control and Shift keys and then the arrow keys on your keyboard. Another brief tip, and you may have already discovered this yourself, but if you were to be in a situation where you needed to copy and paste something that was in one section of the report into a different section, so let's say for some reason I wanted signature A and its corresponding box to be inside of the detail section, then the issue that I've had in the past is that if you don't allow for enough room prior to cutting the material, then it can cause some issues with either it disappearing, or you'd have to close the report and start from it not being cut, that kind of thing. So the best way to do it is to make sure that you have enough room wherever you are going to be pasting the material prior to even cutting it. And then you can actually click and drag to highlight multiple items. Or if I were to accidentally highlight, say, this certificate created with IndySoft text box, and I don't want that one highlighted, but I do want these two highlighted. I don't want to have to do the Control drag again, so instead I would just hit the Shift key and then click on whatever item I don't want selected and it will unselect it for you. Or in the reverse, you can actually Shift and then select items as well and add them to the selected items that you have there. But so let's say we wanted to copy or cut these and paste them into the Detail tab. Then Control X will work, and then you want to click inside of the Detail tab, Control V, and then I'm just going to use the Control Shift shortcut that I showed you earlier to bring it all the way down to the bottom of the Detail tab. And there it is. I think that is all of the little tips that I have for PrintBuilder at this moment, but please, any feedback that you could provide, I would love it, and I will answer any questions that you guys may have, and I'm happy to help, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.